Hello, everybody. Hi.
Boo.
Boo.
No.
Not okay. Hello, my adoring players, and hello, hopefully adoring watcher. How are you? How are you all doing? How are you? How are we feeling today?
Nervous.
Yeah, nervous.
Why?
I'm sweating, Dan.
You did try to kill us last session. You're still
I-
trying this session as well.
Yeah, you haven't done killing us yet. You've still got to actually
Yeah.
finish the job.
Yeah. I've just been winding up for the last kind of week or so, and I knew it was going to be such a visceral and one-time occasion thing to see that
Don't use that word.
I reached out and got Meg back.
Hi, Meg. Welcome back.
So she
Hi,
wasn't on the
Meg.
sidelines.
Everything's fine.
Yeah, I mean, Addie's fine. She's just been petting the horses back at camp.
Yeah.
As far as she knows, everything's fine.
See, it's absolutely fine. Absolutely fine.
Yeah.
So, some stuff happened in the last episode, and I think.
Yeah.
I reckon the only way to absolve myself of any kind of guilt that I feel for it is to jump straight back into where we left it off last time.
Are you pretending to have guilt now?
Sure.
The only thing that will make you feel better about nearly killing us is killing us.
Is doing the job, yeah. The guilt of leaving a job unfinished. So, who wants to play some Dungeons and Dragons?
I don't want to play with the sociopath.
Okay.
Right. Let's have a title screen and then some murder, shall we?
No.
Fantastic.
Not that one.
No.
The world has been broken and remade. Our civilizations are shattered, our people divided. Yet there are those who would rise up to challenge the encroaching darkness.
Hi, my name's Carl. I'm playing Sir Carmichael Comstock, a Lorivar Cavalier fighter.
Hi, I'm Meg. I'm playing Addie, a keeper druid bard.
Hi, my name is Anton, and I play Victor, a Lorivar Gloomstalker Ranger.
Hi, my name's Lane. I'm playing Milia Sayralast, an Asavar Divine Soul Sorcerer.
My name's Tim, and I'm playing Galena, the Terran Sprite Alchemist Artificer.
And my name is Dan. I will be the Dungeon Master on this adventure. Whilst our world has been changed, we band together. Hope bright in our hearts. We push forward to reclaim what was once ours, and we shall be known as the Explorers of Elsewhere. When considering the devastation wrought by the War of Dragons and the resultant events of the Eschaton, there are things that are easy to acknowledge that were lost, such as homes, lands, and livelihoods. One of the greatest losses, however, something felt by many across Elsewhere, were the relationships between those we loved and cared for. Families and friends who found themselves suddenly separated by distance, circumstance, or death. Like many other tragedies, those who suffer so react in many different ways. Some cling to their principles and carry on. Some hide themselves away whilst they try to find a solution. Some seek vengeance for the wrongs that have been forced upon them. All of these expressions of grief can prove to be the most painful wounds of all. The greatest test of someone's resilience, however, is what you go on to do in the face of such grief, and how you let it shape you.
So
So
is that
I
one
guess
just
we're
aimed
planning a
directly at me
funeral then.
today?
Yeah,
I retain the word grief, yeah.
He's speaking like we're already gone. He's written us off already.
Mhm.
So I've got some
And-
ideas for your eulogy.
Eat my ass.
Do you also have some ideas for our new characters?
You can eat my ass as well.
This is the eulogy, by the way.
I mean, Lane, I'm not really sure why you
Comstock, eat
picked
my
up
ass.
today.
And so, Milia.
Hi.
You almost felt like time was slowing as the spectral hammer blow closed in to the point where it made contact and your world went dark. As you fell to the ground, it felt like you were falling for minutes, hours, days. And despite falling through an inky void, you could feel your world spinning, alternating faster, slower, faster, slower, until it all just stopped. And in the darkness, a voice. Hello, Milia.
Hello?
It's so good that we finally meet.
Who are you? Where am I?
We are nowhere. We are everywhere. We are exactly where you left yourself. You've taken a bad turn, haven't you, Milia Sayralas?
A year ago? And I seem to be constantly taking these bad turns?
It's okay. I'm here for you, Milia. I understand the pain that you feel. I understand the failings of your frail body, and I'm here to help. You can call me Rexala. I want to help you, Milia. Will you let me help you?
Is there going to be a cost?
Perhaps. But a cost worth paying. I can save you. I can offer you what you are so close to losing right now. I can offer you life.
What is the cost?
Our time is fleeting, and I fear we cannot get into the details of it, but in this moment I can promise you, if you seek life, I am willing to give it to you. This is a choice for you and you alone, Milia. Do you seek life?
Yes. I can't die here. I can't. I can't.
Victor,
Yes.
you watch as Milia collapses to the ground. The spectre, the time lost initiate that struck her down, turned to regard his handiwork, and then turns to look at you before swarming in your direction. Like Victor, as you are kind of cornered by three of these spirits, you can hear the panicked cries of Comstock and Galena in presumably the rooms or corridors behind you. As the three specters kind of move towards you with their hammers raised.
Oh, I forgot about this. The part where I get smacked 3 times in the face.
With 3 crits.
You hear a cry from the stairwell. Addy, what do you do?
Hey! Woo!
Okay. So I've just walked in to a mess. And I am going to act straight away. Do I know what these sort of entities are? Like, is it obvious to me?
Yes, they're the bad spirit glowy ghost things that you fought upstairs on your way down, and you can see from where you're stood, you can see at least two of them converging on Victor, who's sort of like just behind what looks to be this kind of almost like stone learning classroom area type thing, and he's got his rifle out. He's like going to fend off their like raised hammers. You can also see from where you're stood that you can see Milia kind of sprawled out on the floor. Yes, it looks like a mess, and you know these things are dangerous.
Okay. Can I send a healing word over to Milia?
You can.
Nice.
I'm gonna go do that. Straight away, I'm gonna do that, and then
Okay. Ooh,
so that's
6 hit points.
All right, something.
Okay, so Milia, you gain 6 hit points. What does this healing word sound like?
Yodeling.
Yodeling. I think I take my sort of spear staff and whisper into the seed pods that are sort of dangling down from it, and then those seed pods sort of come alive and sort of burst with this sort of green twinkling mist that then sort of disperses towards Milia.
Amazing. In which case, as like Milia, as this like primal magic kind of falls over you, that inky void you found yourself in, suddenly there's a whooshing sensation as you feel like someone's grabbed the back of your collar and just like wrenching you upwards, and you find yourself pulled out of the darkness, and you open your eyes and you're on the floor in this Hydraean temple. So Addy, that's usually bonus action. You still have your standard action.
And then I'm gonna cast Bane on the two ghosty entities in front of Victor.
Gonna be a rules bod and say we can't do Bane because it's a leveled spell. And then you've used the bonus action spell as well.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, you can only use a
All right.
cantrip.
Do a cantrip though.
That is fair enough. Sorry for that.
Cheeky vicious mockery.
Yeah,
Piss off,
let's do
ghost.
a let's. You know what? Yeah, all right. We're gonna flavour it that way. I'm gonna cast vicious mockery and just shout "piss off, ghost" at the one closest to me.
The one closest to you. Okay. As you throw out your vicious mockery, the time lost initiate rolls a wisdom save and hella fails.
Hell fails.
Hella fails. So if you roll the damage.
I will. That's just a 2.
Okay. So as you kind of utter this command, this magical command, the initiate kind of wavers slightly, and the hammer blow looks like it's kind of wavering as well. So we'll remember that one gets disadvantage on its next.
That's good.
Which is very handy. Cool. Anything else, Addy?
I can still move, can't I?
Like 10 foot, yeah.
Yeah. Can I move 10 feet forward toward the ghosts?
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so as you move up, Addy, that is your turn. And as you kind of head towards Victor, Victor, you look up and you see this kind of massive silhouette of a keeper striding into the room. A second silhouette follows. You watch as a purple dragon scent strides out from behind the keeper, looks around, and "Are these your friends?" he says to you, Addy.
Yes. These are them.
Who this?
Help, please.
The dragon
New PC, who dis?
The dragon scent nods and lifts up. Is holding a rod in his hand that has some sort of like angular crystal, like green crystal at its end. And as he kind of raises it over, he's holding it in his left hand and raises it over his right shoulder. A green light illuminates the black and red robes that the dragon scent is wearing, and he gestures. He points towards the specters and
Do the thing.
He will
Oh, yes.
fire. Let's go for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So
Howard kill.
a 4th level magic missile.
Shit.
So let's we'll just do this 3
OP.
times. So Victor, the ghost, the time lost initiate that just dropped Milia, takes 7 damage.
Sweet.
And vanishes.
Bye-bye.
The one that Addie's just struck takes 7 damage and is heavily wounded. And the final one takes 5 damage.
Hey, good job. Thank you, stranger. You are most kind.
This dragon scent kind of looks around and like notices the Asavar lying on the floor over in the corner, sort of like lifting his torch up to be able to see. And the dragon scent shouts out, "It appears that we're just in time." The initiates, 3 of them in the corridor by you, Galena, by you and Comstock. They begin to rush forward and they phase through the walls.
I'm at me, you transparent bastards.
The first one, were you dodging? I feel like you were dodging.
Yeah. I think so.
You weren't, you are now. So,
Hooray.
the first one swings at you and you duck under that. The second one rolls an 11 and you hop out the way of that. And the third and final also rolls an 11. So between you and Comstock, you managed to Aragorn keep them away with your torch. Separately, the 2 specters, the 2 time lost initiates that are like fighting with you, Victor, they see these new approaches, and one of them, the teacher that you the one that you reckon to be the tutor, shouts, "More Arcani cultists!" as they kind of swoop over towards you, Addy, and the dragon scent. The one that you shouted at, Addy, takes a swing at you with disadvantage. Rolls a 14, which I believe is a hit.
Yep, it is indeed.
It is indeed.
Ah, shit.
Okay. So you take 3 necrotic damage. And if I could please have a Constitution save, please.
Oh no.
As this thing glides across the classroom towards you. Okay.
11.
So as this hammer like hits you, you can feel like it strikes you. Obviously, it hurts, and your side feels a bit odd where it touched you, but nothing lingering happens. The other takes a swing at the dragon scent, and the dragon scent just kind of brings the torch arm up, and the hammer hits his kind of lower arm, and a shield of green kind of energy ripples across his arm where the hammer strikes, and he flicks the time lost initiate away. Comstock, what do you do?
So Comstock watches the ghost come through the door, and he starts shouting, it's like, "I didn't spend several days and nights fighting at the gates of Hugelstadt just to die here in the dark," as I use my second wind.
Hey.
Yeah, let's go.
Give myself 7 hit dice back. And then he reaches down, suddenly grabs Galena by the scruff of her jacket. It's like, just trust me on this! And grabs Galena and pulls her away from the combat.
Galena, would you like to contest the grapple check?
Will I get massacred by ghosts if I am pulled away here? Maybe.
No, because
Let's
I
all
think
find
you'll
out together.
That forced movement does not provoke opportunity attacks.
You know what? I suppose that is, in a way, true.
Yes.
5.
So
Grab me, Comstock, carry me!
Just running through like fire and flames, and Galena his arms like
I probably,
need a
like-
hero.
It's not so much that I go with it as that I'm just very light and small, so I'm still like behind you, like
Well-
flailing away with the torch.
as you
Like, come
go,
on!
Yeah.
as you go, Comstock, the 2 initiates that were next to you,
Mhm.
swing, is a 16
That's a miss.
and a 7.
That's a miss.
Ooh, wow.
So you managed to shield and dodge your way out of that, and Comstock.
20.
So you can go
25.
half speed because you're
Oh,
carrying
that's
someone.
great. So 5. So 5. 10. 15.
Okay, and Galena is there. So
Can we argue 3/4 speed because Galena is very small?
I'll give you 20. There you go.
I
quite
do
dense.
have a high strength as well.
I am quite dense.
That is true. You are made of rocks.
So Comstock, as you get into the first kind of the teaching area, you can see that the ghosts have, like Addie's here, the ghosts are, the spirits are swarming them. There's a dragon scent, Millia's on the ground, sort of like looking up at the ceiling, probably a bit confused and shocked. And I think that's all of your actions. Anything else?
Oh no, it's not all my actions down because, you know, I could just
Let's
surge. He basically, I'm gonna dash
Yeah.
with half my movement, and basically as he's passing Victor, it's like, Victor, if you want to gain my trust, grab Milia and let's try and get out of here.
Okay.
10, 15, 20.
Okay.
Ah!
Carry Galena as you go.
There's possibly more about to come through the door, so watch out.
What, you didn't kill them?
Trying to, but it's just us. Everyone ran off.
You stayed behind.
So, Galena, what do you do?
I am gonna open my eyes again, realise that I am nowhere near the ghosts anymore. Right. I'm gonna wriggle out of Comstock's grasp if he will allow that.
Comstock will.
Thank you. Drop to the ground. Alright, I'll clock the newcomers. They. Addy, thank goodness! These things can't die, we have to get out of here! And then I'm gonna run over to young Milia and try and assist her to her feet with my action if I can, please.
Absolutely. So, Milia, Galena gets under your shoulder and lifts.
No
lifts
time
you
for
up.
a rest now, come on, Mil!
There comes a point where she can't help anymore because she's like half she's,
I start at the shoulder and then I just start like pushing up on her bum to like try and get her off the ground.
Just like going from a full plank, just like.
Exactly.
Okay, so yeah, with the action, you pull Milia up, and I mean you've not used any move yet, so.
And I guess I'll just move around the back this sort of way. So there, and like here, and that'll do. That's me done.
Okie dokie. In which case, as you're done, Victor. Everyone seems to be here. There are 2 seemingly wounded spectres.
Yeah. Victor's gonna shoot one of the specters.
Okay.
The one with more health.
Yeah.
Gonna make a shot. Action. Yes. Roll to attack. Normal. 13 to hit.
That is a hit.
Sweet.
So as you
damage,
bring your rifle up,
well,
you gauge it, and as you pull the trigger,
one shot. Yeah.
One shot. And the spirit, the time lost initiate, explodes into kind of specks of light.
Yeah. He'll go towards Milia and say, "Come on, Milia, time to go!"
As you do, you hear this stranger, this dragon sent shout out, "A fine shot!"
Most kind. And that will be my turn.
Okay, Milia.
I'm gonna reach down, pick up the book and the dagger that I probably dropped when I ate shit. Dagger back on like a side pouch and just start basically limping towards the exit.
Yeah, that sounds good.
30 just
Just to there. Okay.
and then point at the one that's left in Firebolt.
Okie dokie. So this one that's tussling with Addy, as it's off balance from taking a big hefty swing at the keeper.
13.
That is a hit.
Just like she's not got the padlock on, she's too woozy. Just yeah.
Okay. So as you yeet this kind of mote of fiery energy across, roll for damage, 5 damage, and the initiate kind of looks up and goes to move out the way, but time seems to dilate for a moment, and it moves too slowly. And as the magic strikes it, it kind of detonates, and the spirit disappears. Okay, anything else? So that's all, everything familiar. In which case, yeah, back to you, Addy. There are the specters have been, like the time lost initiates around have been defeated. Everyone's here. What do you do?
Comstock will let you know there are 3 more on the way through the door.
Okay. Let's get out of here. And I'm gonna start making towards the exit.
Is everyone else in agreement?
Agreed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
In which case, we can do this relatively out of order, but if everyone moves towards the stairwell.
As we sprint out, I'm gonna dunk my sleeve in this pool of water.
Mm-hmm.
And then head on out.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh, hello.
And as you emerge up the stairwell, the thing that strikes you as odd, firstly, is that there's daylight streaming through the roof of the temple.
What?
And
It
as
was-
you come up, you hear a as Horse the bear leaps at an initiate and sort of like grabs this temporal anomaly in his jaws and swings it around a bit, and the ghost kind of dissipates.
I know
And
I've said it
then-
already, but I'm happy the bear is on our side.
And then you watch as a knight of some sort of heavily armored figure steps up to the final one, hefts a large two-handed sword, and with a single swing that embeds into the stone ground, slays the final one.
Nice.
And as you're kind of looking around and trying to make sense of what's happening, the dragon sent amongst you says, "Is everyone okay?" And Comstock, you find yourself a bit transfixed by someone wearing very similar armor to you.
I was about to say that looks like the Hugelstadt armor.
Mm-hmm.
The figure regards you as you regard the figure, and the dragon sent in your group says, "There's some sort of anomaly that's happening here. We cannot stay." and kind of looks to you as you can see the bluish glows that are coming off the initiates beginning to illuminate the bottom of the stairwells.
You know what? I wasn't planning to. Let's go.
In which case, as the dragon scent begins making his way towards the entrance, and the knight regards you silently for a moment, Comstock, before running off to join the dragon scent. Horse turns to you, Addy, and kind of makes a content little noise. Well, a grumpy little noise because the food disappeared. Before kind of galumphing off with you. And as you make your way, out of the temple, out into the the valley that it's situated in, you run for a few moments, and then when you stop to take a breath and then turn to look, the temple is gone.
Yeah.
In its place is an empty valley.
Wow. Strange place.
Look up to Addy, eyes a little wide, and say, "How long were we gone?"
So,
Too long.
that's a good question. Addy, as you kind of catch your breath a little bit and turn to look, and yet that building you were just in is vanished and replaced with nothing but nature. Like you look at Galena, having just asked this question, and it's, I mean, why would you ask that? It's the next morning. The sun is in the sky. You were gone all night.
You were gone all night. Why do you think I came out here to find you?
Okay.
I thought
okay.
something had happened to you. What on earth was all that? Where's
Something-
the temple gone? Who are the ghosts?
Evidently,
story.
Are you all okay?
Mostly.
I think some of us are probably a little more beat up than others, but the main thing is we're alive, and we chalk this up to another oddity of everything that's happened to this world.
Oddity indeed. Bloody hell. If I hadn't met Attract and his companion before coming in, I don't know what I would have done.
You met
I think
who?
I would have been dead too.
So Addy says that, and Victor, as you ask her what, you all turn your heads to regard the dragon scent. How many of you have seen the rarity that is a dragon scent before?
Are they rare?
Chosen by the gods, no less.
Oh shit.
I reckon I've probably seen a few just because of the makeup of my home city,
Sure.
but not that many.
Yeah, possibly.
Probably a traveller through Hugelstadt, but not intimately.
Sure.
Other than in books, probably not.
Okay. So, the dragon scent in front of you is for all intents and purposes, can be described as a humanoid dragon that stands slightly taller than the Loravars in the group, but is quite. This individual is relatively broad-shouldered. His scales, if you could call them, are like a dark, almost midnight purple. There's some two curved horns which rise from the sides of his head to meet, like that angle towards one another. His lower jaw, and you can see kind of down the front of his neck is a beige, creamy coloured, kind of belly-like scaling colour. And the dragon scent is well dressed in what appears to be sort of like a combination of black, dark red, and white robes and kind of cloths tied around him. There's a rather ornate looking chain. In his hand he grasps this rod that you saw him fire some magic missiles from, that's tipped with this kind of now no longer glowing green crystal that Galena, you take a peer at, and it looks suspiciously like the mana crystals that you now have on your possession, but green. And this dragon sense kind of stands upright, straight back, shoulders back, and there's a definite aura around him. And as he looks to you with these piercing emerald eyes, he closes his eyes slightly as he nods his head.
I usually don't make a habit of meeting people in such stressful situations. But yes,
And the dragon scent bows.
I am Atrak. Pleased to meet your acquaintance.
A pleasure. Victor here.
Greetings, Victor.
Your help is appreciated, Sir Carmichael Comstock.
Everyone. I say everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Who smart? Who smart?
La-di-dee, la-di-dee,
Who they gonna be?
la-da-da. Don't mind me. Rolling dice.
Oh no.
No,
that?
there's secret dice rolls.
Yeah.
Comstock
Mm-hmm.
and Victor.
Woo!
Oh.
Roll
Explode.
me your passive perception is high enough to allow you to make an active perception check.
Perception. Let's go.
That's
No
a
mouse.
15.
Perception of +0.
Hey,
Let's
11.
go.
Okay. Comstock, as you say your name, quite possibly you notice, because you're watching,
I've been keeping an eye on this person the whole time.
and you notice that the helmeted head of this knight that's wearing very similar armor turns, like, suddenly to regard you before looking down and away. Ever so slightly, very, very quickly, very subtly, but you picked it, you saw it, because you're watching this figure like a hawk. And you notice, like the shoulders raise slightly. But Atrak kind of is looking at you and nods as you say your name, and then he kind of looks on to Milia.
Milia Sayerlast, good to meet you, and thank you so much again for your help.
You are more than okay, Lady Saverlast.
And then finally, he looks down to the small figure stood just off to the side of him.
And you are, my lady?
I'm kind of consumed in the middle of trying to squeeze mystical time water out of my sleeve into a little vial. Galena Opperman, chemist. It's a mighty fancy stick you got there.
Thank you. It has been in my possession for some time. It has served me very well through the years. It is you could say that it is I would say it is a Sindrith family heirloom, but I am the
Yes, you
first
say.
and most likely only of my name.
Oh, we can have an interesting chat later.
Eddie!
He nods.
Eddie, how did you find us?
So, that is a good question, isn't it, Abby?
Flashback noises.
So before we continue, I can only imagine Galena wringing out the water and it starts dropping and then starts going upwards. So you're just sort of just catching it as it's like reversing in time.
So, yes, with the prerequisite flashback noises.
We're doing Lost. It's
So, Addy, you remember watching the party, like the others, as they kind of rushed off with this stranger, with this hunter, this Victor character, and you remember kind of Haladradus watching them kind of head off into the night before she kind of went off to kind of bring order to the camp her own way. And as the hours went by, like, you know, you were able to help bring the horses, the panicking horses and whatnot under control. The hours went by, and I mean, did you get some sleep? Did you manage to get some sleep?
No sleep.
Okay.
No, worked the evening through.
In which case,
I couldn't sleep. All my friends were off and didn't know where they were.
Gallivanting. Okay. So as you remember, kind of waiting, like, because you remember thinking, like, how far have they gone? It's been hours. And you remembered seeing motes of daylight begin to creep through the foliage overhead as dawn swiftly approached. And whilst there were some others that were worried, it would seem that you were the most panicked of the camp. When you heard a soft violin sound somewhere in the woods. Violin sound that sounded both unknown and like it's a song you've heard every day of your life, just gently getting louder as the sun began rising over the horizon. And you remember looking around and no one else seemingly noticing this violin playing. What did you do?
I follow the tune.
Okay.
Do I remember hearing this tune recently?
You feel like it's a violin song. It's a violin piece that you feel like you have heard it before, but almost like a dream. You can't remember where you heard it. It's almost like the weirdest sense of deja vu. But as you scaled over, you know, the camp's starting to deconstruct from its kind of perimeter circle. You know, the temporary stables are beginning to be deconstructed as best they can, given that there's some sort of massive hole through the front and back of it. But you remember kind of hearing just somewhere off in the distance, as you were kind of walking away from the camp, the voice of Haladradis shouting your name, as you felt compelled to go investigate this sound. But you do vaguely remember Haladradis' voice shouting,
Fine, you can find us,
she shouted, as you kind of disappeared into the undergrowth. And it wasn't the direction that your friends went. It was, you know, a slightly different direction. It was northeast instead of north directly. And despite the fact that you were never able to find who was playing the song, and it always seemed like it was just on the edge of your mind, you found your way into what appeared to be a little valley, and bumped into these two individuals. And as you did, the song stopped, and this purple-scaled dragon scent looked at you with surprise and,
well, I'm sorry, I'm not used to meeting strangers in the woods.
You and me both. And Addie is just sort of transfixed, because first time she's ever seen a dragon scent.
Are you,
And
are you okay? Are you lost?
did you hear music? I'm sorry. I'm looking for my friends. They wandered off a while ago, and I haven't been able to find them. There's an Asavar holds a book. A soldier,
The dragon
a
scent.
short one, and this guy with a big mustache. Although I don't really know him, he's kind of new.
The dragon scent and the knight kind of turn to look at each other, and you cannot read anything on this knight, given the full faceplate helmet that's covering all of their features. But you do notice this big old, like two-handed sword, kind of on their back, and for a moment there's another weird kind of deja vu as you study this knight and think that looks very familiar. Very, very familiar. And you're looking up and down from the full face helmet to the sort of like the banded armoring, the chainmail, the all the way down to like the armored like knee pads and like shin pads, boots, and then you just I can't figure out what I can't put doing. Yeah, we don't know who that is. But the dragon scent tilts his head and
if you're friends, and the reason I'm here coincide, I fear your friend may be in some sort of trouble. My apologies. My name is Atrak Sindrith. Please, are you a keeper from these woods?
Oh no, not these woods. No. My name is Dryadia. Oran. I'm from the Crove. They're some way away from here. But call me Addy. What do you mean, trouble? What is this place? I don't quite know how I got here.
This is a wilderness, but I sense some sort of arcane anomaly nearby. We're heading to investigate if you wish to accompany us.
Addy sort of...
Is the bear yours?
Oh, horse? Oh, yeah. Horse is with me. I don't really know if you can call a bear mine. I don't own him. You can't really own a wild bear. But we're friends. And at this point, I sort of take a good berry out of my pouch and sort of flick it towards bear.
and he
towards horse.
catches it in midair. In which case, like Atrak nods and
very well. The disturbance came from this direction. If you care to follow.
And
okay.
Sure enough, not too long after that, you found yourself at the back end of what appeared to be this large kind of ruined temple building of some sort. As you walked around, you heard the dragon scent you saw the dragon scent inspecting it, and Mum say to himself in an almost self-pleased manner,
oh, it's Hydraean.
Before kind of stepping in through one of the broken windows, and that's when you were set upon by some time lost initiates. But you also heard some sort of scuffle going on downstairs, and the rest is history.
I see. Good story.
I think what I would have I don't think I would have talked to anyone about or sort of said anything about the music. I would have just been like, well, I'm a keeper. I just followed my instincts, obviously.
Okay. In which case, yeah. Tim, what was it you were going to say?
I was just going to say, knowing that dragon scent tend to be kind of selected by particular dragons, and knowing all of the Hydraean iconography and stuff that we've seeing recently, Does this fella look like he's probably one of Hydreia's dragons? Is that something I can judge from his appearance?
You're gonna need to give me a nature check.
Nature.
Because the general answer is not really.
Okay.
Yeah, the dragon scent aren't like color coded for our convenience or anything, but there might be some things about him that.
Let's see.
But you're absolutely right. Yes.
21.
21. I mean, it's possible. He could well be a Hydraean. You notice that he seemed to have quite a good working knowledge of, in this explanation, he's talked about, he noticed an arcane conflux, like an arcane disturbance. He's wielding a rod of magic missiles. I mean, Hydraeans are, Hydrea is the god of, the study of arcane magic and knowledge and whatnot, the lawkeeper. So potentially, it could be a Hydraean. But I suppose that also you've not really got that many other dragon scent experiences to base it off of, kind of thing.
I've got lots of diagrams, but which is exactly the same as real world experience, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, so Atrak turns to you all and,
as I said to your companion, it is unusual to meet so many new folk in the wilds like this. Please excuse me, it has been a while since I've had to socialize as much.
Not a problem. So, tell me, you were looking for this temple?
I noticed that there was some sort of disturbance, some large disturbance happening. And it would seem that you found yourselves at the heart of it. It is good that you've all made it out in for the most part in better health.
Yes.
And he
Just as tired, though.
His eyes kind of fall on Milia, who looks a bit woozy. And Comstock, who looks a bit clattered as well.
A question, Atrish. You keep interesting company, it seems.
Atrak looks from you to the knight stood just behind him to his side, and you notice that the knight stood kind of off to the side of Atrak is a real kind of proper stands to attention kind of style. And he looks back and,
well, I do say, you appear to be wearing very similar armor.
And he looks to the knight behind him and,
do you happen to know this individual? This fine Sir Comstock?
And the knight turns their heads to look to you, and then their head tilts slightly, and a feminine voice rings out from the helmet. Yes, we do. Comstock, roll me a history check.
Oh, there we go then.
Good.
Ooh.
Pretty solid.
The game wants to play ball. That's good.
And Comstock, your one good eye opens wide as you recognize the voice that comes from this full place helmet as that of Carla Maralane.
There was no one finer with a great sword than Lady Garalane.
Especially, which is fine praise for your commanding officer at the Battle of Hugelstadt, the one who dragged you from the fighting after you were wounded.
Wait, you two know each other?
Of course, she was my commanding officer back in the day. We fought side by side on many occasions and nearly died during the Battle of Hugelstadt. If it hadn't been for her, If it hadn't been for her, I wouldn't be here.
The knight kind of regards you, and the voice the voice sounds echoey under the helmet. It is good to see you are keeping yourself busy, Carmichael.
I'm doing what I can with what was given to me. Sure you understand.
Yes.
I'm glad to see that you're doing the same.
Oh, by comparison to you, Carmichael, it would seem that my life is distinctly more quiet.
Comstock looks to Carla and then to his companions. We're still learning the ropes, it seems. Most of us are fresh on the path.
Speak for yourself.
I don't really know you, do I, Victor? So, given how shitty things just went down,
It went perfect.
I wouldn't brag.
What are you talking about?
Who are you calling flesh on the path?
See?
although I do have to admit, Galena, out of all of us, you seem to have got off less. But we're alive, aren't we?
I've travelled the world in a bookshelf.
That you are.
Says the Dragon.
But I came here to investigate the strange anomalies. Is this why you were here as well?
To be fair, we were mostly looking for a place to camp, so I guess this wasn't it. Know any good places?
The Dragon Scent looks to Carla next to him, and
None that can offer you room and board, I'm afraid.
Sad.
I find it odd that you're this far away from any surviving settlements. The nearest I know of is a small little refugee town called Varos, but that is maybe 200 miles to the west, as far as I remember.
That's where we set off from.
Oh,
We're all the refuse of Varosi, all washed up on its shores. We've out here trying to look into establish a new town. Don't suppose you're looking for a bit of work or food and board? We could use someone like you.
I appreciate the offer, Lady Sprite, but I have adopted a quiet life since, well, you know. But a new town, you say, a new settlement. This is good news. This is pleasing to my ears. You have traveled quite some considerable distance in pursuit of this mission, and I commend you.
Well, maybe one day you'll come visit the town, eh? With a bit of luck, if we haven't all been killed by ghosts or bears or there's some sort of like dragon bat things that are trying to kill us. It's all quite exciting out here.
Me.
Oh, and Victor's trying to kill us as well, I think.
Yes. It's been hard work.
Atrak kind of looks from you to Victor, and there's a look of like, what, really?
Well, when you have found yourself established, wherever it is that you may find yourself, I would not turn down the opportunity of having a little visit, if nothing else, just to say hello. I could not be an isolated hermit for all of the rest of my life.
Your plans for now? Just to walk away, go back to Varos, or you have other means of getting around?
I will return to where I am staying. It is just a small, discreet, and humble place. It is somewhere that allows me to do my work and pursue my pursuits. But I must say the talk of setting up a town, that must be a rather large, organized undertaking. Who is organizing this? How has this come to be? This is, for everything that has happened after the eschaton, this is fantastic news. Who has managed to band together such intrepid explorers such as yourselves?
Davendram and Haladradis.
So can't say I've heard of Davendram.
But as you say Haladradis, he stops. Stone still.
Oh, so you've heard of her then?
Good review.
The dragon scent looks up to you and
Haladradis, you say?
Haladradis, one of the same.
Former lover, maybe?
That is a fascinating name. And I cannot say that I've heard of this Haladradis, no. But whoever this Davin and Haladradis are, they must have some considerable influence to have organized such a thing. You are in safe hands, to be sure.
Can I do a little insight check on if it seemed like he has actually heard of Haladradis? Just a little one.
I would also like to partake in this insight.
Really?
And I think they had a really awkward one-night stand, and then that's that.
Anyone who thinks there might be something to this, please roll me an insight check.
Oh,
An 18.
I'll get on that.
An 18, a 3,
12.
a 12.
So I want to roll. Should I roll?
A
Oh,
10.
just a 10. Rubbish.
Sorry, late 10. Victor thinks that's a one-night stand.
At
Okay.
that mention of the one night stand, Addy gets out a little notebook and starts sort of scribbling down ballad ideas. Oh, scandalous.
Comstock.
Mm-hmm.
It's you that notices the clenching on the back teeth on this dragon scent.
It's very hard because their jaws are quite firm, I imagine. So just watching his jaw just ever so slightly rescind.
It's like his cheekbones rise as he like clamps down on his teeth, and you notice the single angry swish of the tail before he says,
No, can't say I've heard of her.
Well, that is a shame.
Atrak nods and
So, I assume there is some sort of expedition or a caravan with which you ferry your supplies to create this new
Oh,
encampment.
the caravan! They were leaving as I left to come find you. Oh gosh, they're probably gone by now.
Don't
Oh, we need
worry.
to get back.
No, we will find them. It's okay.
Atrak turns his head slightly to look at Carla, and Carla turns her head ever so slightly to acknowledge the look. And
If it is not considered to be intruding, we are more than happy to accompany you whilst you return to your caravan. And once we know that you are safe, then we will we will make our goodbyes. It seems
Yeah,
like,
sure.
seems like you know your way around the forest quite well, he says, his eyes falling on you, Victor. But, as I say, perhaps it will be good to socialize with new company.
Okay, should we go?
Before we do, Lady Marilyn, may I have a brief moment?
She turns to look at you, and Of course.
I think he wants to know where you got the greaves.
Shut up, Galina.
In which case, as she turns to you, she nods. Galina, you shut out the greaves, and like the head tilts, and then she looks at you, Comstock, and then looks down, and as you all kind of,
It's a long story.
as you begin making, well, Addy, you're able to lead the group in the direction that you came from. That's fundamentally through the valley where this temple was, and begin making your way out. And as you all leave, let's grab a quick break.
Hey.
Hey.
See you in a bit.
See you in a bit.
Well, hello there, me dears. I need your help with a little experiment. My hypothesis is that the higher your IQ, the more likely you are to like and subscribe. And you wouldn't want to let me down now,
Galina,
would ye?
Galina, no,
Would
Galina,
ye?
no. Welcome back. Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
One of these days,
Hello.
I'm going to come back in a completely different outfit.
Maybe you should organise that. Really mess with people.
Oh.
Unrealised.
I mean, there was that one time, if you remember, we went to break and there's like really ill during the breaks, and when we did come back, we were in entirely different clothes and we were a lot older.
Yes, hello, welcome back. So, before you head off, is there anything else that anyone wants to do?
Yeah, I'm just going to head up to Galina quickly, just before we leave the little area where the temple was. I'm saying, Galina, could do you have anything that I can write on? A piece of paper and a pencil or something?
Should have something here. Hold on. And rifle through a lot of different notebooks that are full of just illegible scribbles. Yeah, there's like half a page written. I'll just tear half of it off, and here you go, dear.
Thank you. And I'm going to kind of awkwardly tuck the book under my elbow so it doesn't move when I'm writing.
Mm-hmm.
And write, someone give me a name. Someone you don't know, just something you've made up, please.
Bob Jeff.
Bob Jeff?
Uh,
Says the dragon sent.
Helmet McHelmet face.
Bob Jeff.
uh,
Yeah, because I had a neighbour called Bob and I had a neighbour called Jeff, so Bob Jeff.
How about
Put
Victor? It's a great name. Also, someone you don't know.
Victor Bob. And then I won't be saying this as I'm writing it out, obviously.
Uh-huh.
But I'm going to write, I thought this was a safe place, but it wasn't. We're going to be headed back south, right?
You're heading... Yeah. So it's basically a bit of a loop, but fundamentally you're heading south, yeah.
Yeah. I'm heading northeast. Please don't look for me. The book is more important, I'm sorry. And then I'm going to take a dagger and pin that note to a tree in like a semi-obvious looking place.
Okay.
We all see this?
Probably. I'm not doing it secretly.
You think we're being tracked?
Maybe.
I mean, you were tracking us.
Exactly. Very worrying.
And then sort of on the like muddy ground I'm on, I'm going to start heading northeast, until I hit a patch of grass and then double back round.
Okay. Sure. Okay. The dragon scent and the Carla just kind of watch you as you kind of run off through the mud and then double back on yourself. And Atrax,
Is she always like this?
I don't know. Wait, don't run! I can tell if you're running by your tracks.
So, okay. So now we'll start a new break. You find yourselves, heading back in a relatively southerly direction. And Victor, I assume you're at the front, kind of keeping an eye out for an explorer's caravan. I mean, this is just a standard Tuesday for you, isn't it? Tracking the explorer's caravan.
Milia has not returned. Sadly, got mauled by a ferocious animal.
So you're all together. Atrak is walking up front along with you. Comstock, you and Carla are able to. Carla sees what you've asked for some time with Carla, and she's kind of looked at Atrak. He's given her a nod, and she's kind of dropped behind the others. So you've got a little bit of privacy as best you can, just watching the back end of this bear just kind of roll from leg to leg as it strides in front of you. Every so often getting fed a good berry.
Starting to do trick shots, right, Addy? Sort of like rolling down your arm off your elbow into its mouth, across the camp, like.
It's what strikes you as odd is that, given the size of Addy in comparison to the others, this keeper walking alongside the bear is very similar to like a Lorivar walking alongside a dog, like a big dog, but just the right height to get some head scritches from the keeper. But yes, you drop behind the rest of the group, and she's not looking at you. She's kind of looking in the direction that she's going, and it seems like she's waiting for you to start.
Permission to speak candidly, sir.
The war is over, Carmichael.
Yes, I believe it is, but it seems both you and I never really stopped, did we? It's good to see you, Carla. I'm actually very surprised to see you. I thought I was the only one. I saw some of the others before I left on the expedition, and they'd all given up. They'd accepted their fates and weren't doing anything. I couldn't allow it to be for nothing, and I'm glad I'm the only one. I'm not the only one.
There's a pensive silence before she says, "Yes, it's good to see you too, Comstock. Do you blame them? The ones that you claim to have given up?"
No, not at all. It's just, the battle was difficult. And I suppose many of them felt underappreciated as much as I did, but damn it, I'm not gonna let it be for nothing.
You hear her kind of do a snort, a dismissive snort under her helmet when you say the word underappreciated. But then she kind of regains her composure and straightens up again. And I'm asking very genuinely here, how do you intend on doing that? How do you intend on making it worth it?
I don't know. Honestly, I'm just out here trying my hardest. Trying to keep this lot alive, for a start. Trying to help get this new town settled, and I intend to stay on and act as its lawman. I just hope the stories get out, the words get out, that a night on the hill was worth it, that They did something. And with you out here as well, there's twice the chance of the words Knight of the Hill meaning a damn.
She, like, her head turns to regard you quite quickly. 1. Knight of the Hill. I choose not to use the title Comstock. It means less than the paper it is written on. We are less than the paper it is written on.
We all know what it was. It was a handshake saying job well done and a pat on the arse telling us to get on our way. But god damn it, I'm going to make it worth it. I'm going to make you proud to hold that title. I'm going to make them regret thinking it was less than nothing. I'm going to make people goddamn want that title. I'm going to make sure it means a damn. It won't be for nothing.
Like, as you're saying this, like, she's just looking at you. Well, the faceplate, the visor of this faceplate on this helmet is just stuck on you as she watches you kind of get yourself worked up. And she slowly kind of turns her face away to look back to the direction she's walking. I could understand. I could understand the bureaucrats and the commoners and the people that don't understand discarding us like rotten meat. But we fought a war for gods, Carmichael. And they discarded us just the same. Where are they now? Where are our precious gods?
He goes to say something and then lowers his voice. I'll be honest with you, Carla, I don't care about the gods as much as I used to. There's something out there more powerful than them. Something that actually gave a damn about us.
The world spirits.
You saw it as well as I.
And what have they done? They've retreated to the ground. They don't help the likes of you and I. We are insects beneath their feet. We are not worthy of their attention.
It's because you're not looking for them. And he sort of hisses that and then sort of looks about somewhat embarrassed slightly. They would treat you to fix this world and just have to look to see them. Everywhere, Carla.
This, Carmichael, this is not the age of dragons or world spirits. No, this is the age of mortals. We are abandoned children. And we will grow into this ruin of a birthright that the gods came and took from us.
Which is all the more reason we need to give people hope. Our time is done. I'm old, I know that. I know at some point, like, my legacy probably won't matter as much, but I need to leave something behind for people to aspire to. And I want the Knight of the Hill to mean that. I want the younger generations to look at that word and feel that it's a thing they can do to fix this place. Like, if you've given up on it, fine. But I won't. I will not leave this world to ruin. I will not leave it that people can live in despair. No, I want to have hope. I look at these young people in front of me and god damn it, I will do everything I can to make sure that they can build a better world.
She's quiet for a few moments, and then she lets out this little chuckle. There he is. The stubborn old goat, but from Hugelstadt.
What are you gonna do? Ask me to give you 20 laps? Bitch, you couldn't beat me in 20 laps.
She, like, her shoulders jiggle as she chuckles, and there's one bit that you were incorrect on, though, Carmichael. I haven't given up. I just don't place my faith in gods anymore. And as she says that, you notice that her head turns to look at the back of Atrak as he walks at the front of the group. I place my faith in people like you and I. just as we should have from the very beginning.
Back then, we know what we were fighting for. We were fighting for Hugelstadt and the people within it. We're guardians, you and I. And he looks to everyone and is like, but we have a job to do. You keep your guys safe, and I'll keep this kid safe. And if we so happen to meet paths again, I'll also keep your guys safe. As long as you promise to look after mine as well.
She nods. As you were, she says. And then she picks up her pace, weaves between Milia and the bear and joins Atrak, and he kind of turns to regard her and kind of gives her a nod at the front of the group.
As she walks away, he just like, as you wish, ma'am.
So,
Victor will address Galina.
Say, hey, Galina, you think they were making out?
the knight, Miss Carla, shoots you a look. Like the head slowly turns to regard you.
Oops, I forgot some tracks that way.
I'm not really sure if she has a face.
Galina, you've noticed that Atrak keeps on looking over in your direction. In an inquisitive manner.
I've almost certainly been trying to strike up some small talk with him most of the walk and desperately trying to make it not obvious that I'm looking for information about his scepter.
He looks down to you and
You strike me as a woman of academia.
That's right. Yes, mostly self-taught. Studied under Dr. Agate for a while. But, I've been practicing with this and that for quite a few years now.
But I can see the look of intrigue in your eyes. I notice you've been eyeing up the rod that hangs from my belt.
What? What? No. No. Fuck it. Yeah. I'm working on something pretty important, actually. To do with those crystals, and up until about 2 hours ago, I thought that they didn't exist until a year ago.
Well, in my time that I've spent out in the wilds, I can tell you that they very much exist.
he says, like patting the wand on his belt.
They have proven to be remarkable foci for arcane magics, of which there is a lot in the aftermath of the war.
You said it's been in your family for years. Do you know where it came from?
Well, a poor joke on my part. You see, I appreciate that you may not have met very many dragon scents such as myself, but I was born to 8 of our parents. I was marked. I was gifted by the dragons. I've spent my life searching for whatever it was that the gods had deemed my purpose, whatever it was that they saw in my soul that deemed them to bring me back.
Sounds like you're a scholar yourself, then.
Indeed.
Of a sort.
Indeed. A scholar who, I fear, has seen too many horrifying things in too short a space of time. Much like yourself.
As he looks to you, and
I can see the intrigue in your eyes. But I can also see a sadness that only comes from loss. And I feel
We are
I know
lost
this
people.
look, for I have the same when I look in the mirror.
So many lost people in that time.
But you and I are uniquely positioned that we can find ways of fixing a problem. We are, after all, fixers, aren't we? We mend things. We create things. We heal things.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I'll pull out the blue crystal,
Oh,
taken from the temple. See. This was from the Lord Keeper's temple. Do you know much of it?
you did well to make it out with that.
He kind of looks at it and he kind of offers his hand out to as he pulls offers a hand out to take the vial as he kind of pulls a monocle, what looks like a monocle, like a crystalline monocle from his like shirt pocket.
If you don't mind.
Hesitate for a couple of seconds and then hand it over.
It's a fake.
Oh, blueberry flavored.
He holds the vial up and he kind of holds it to the light. You all see him kind of studying because you're at the front of the group, right? So you all see him holding this vial of blue crystals above his head. And Galina, you see that he's holding this kind of monocle. It's a mix between like a monocle and those sort of like eyepieces that you see in like diamond stores kind of thing.
Yeah.
A loop.
Yes,
A
one of
jeweler's
those.
loop.
And he's kind of studying them and he kind of rattles it a little bit and everyone tenses for a moment and he just kind of keeps on peering at it and
Remarkable.
he hands it back to you.
It would appear that crystal is infused with some sort of temporal energy. Unfortunately, as it is, it's not all that much use to you beyond being purely ornamental. But if you had some sort of suitable solution with which to immerse it in, to perhaps soften the crystal's nature, reduce it more to a more traditional mana essence, then you might have something rather spectacular on your hands there.
In essence. Right. Okay. And I'm just gonna start
Did you
scribbling down some little diagrams of crystal.
presumably you found that from that temple?
Oh, yeah, some old ghost wanted it was attached to it, I think, but...
Well, I'm sure he doesn't mind anymore.
To be honest, I think, by getting rid of that thing, we might have done them a service. Seemed like they were, both trapped in time, moment to moment, living the same thing again and again.
A lot of people lost a lot of things during the war. It is surprising what we can find ourselves, or the lengths we can find ourselves striving to regain what we have once lost.
There are some things that it's worth striving for.
Then we are of joint mind.
And he looks to you with a genuinely warm smile. Malia,
That's me.
what are you doing?
Good question, because there was something I wanted to do. Does Comstock rejoin the group? Or is he still sort of like hanging back?
I mean, he's not away from the group, so
Yeah. So at some point, she's gonna like sort of turn to look at him and go, Mr. Comstock, Sir Comstock, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I am still a little struggling to keep up a little. Do you mind if I, sort of lean?
Of course, he offers his arm.
Thank you. And I'm going to use Subtle Spell and cast Cure Wounds on Comstock.
Well, thank you.
So this gives off literally nothing until you feel the healing effect.
It's like sitting on a heated car seat without realising it was there. Ooh! Going to a bathroom with underfloor heating. Ooh!
You get 9 health back.
Thank you
Nice.
very much. Apply healing. As you said, nothing until you feel the sensation.
Yep.
You have my thanks.
You did well, Lindsay.
Lady Milia, do you mind if I be frank with you?
Go ahead.
Your actions in there nearly ended up getting you killed. I wish for everyone to survive, but I need everyone to work together. I need you to trust us as we trust you. Do you understand?
I do.
If you ever feel like you are in danger, don't look for the nearest door. Look for the greenest shield. He gives you a wink with his one good eye.
So he just
It
blinks.
just looks like blinking.
Yeah, just blink. Yeah, I mean, it's only been a year. He's still kind of getting used to it, guys. All right.
Just blink with the left half of your
Yeah.
good eye.
But I mean, it's definitely a scrunch. It's not a blink. It's definitely a scrunch. Huh.
Wait, I'm
And I
blinking with my bad eye. You can't.
Just at that point, just staring. It's like, you okay? I'm winking. Oh shit! I made a promise to this team when I joined it, and that was to keep you all safe. But I can't keep you safe if I can't see you. I can't keep you safe if you're not near. If it hadn't have been for Galena and Addy and Victor, who knows what might have happened.
If you end up being too stubborn to accept help, I'll heal you anyway.
Lady Millie, I'll accept healing if it keeps me on my toes.
Well, then I'll keep doing it.
But yes, just ensure that you stay safe.
I have to.
And as for our conversation earlier... And he hands you an invisible key.
The work on this isn't very good, so
Don't know what you're talking about.
the teeth don't fit into any particular lock, or...
Maybe you should build me a better lock with a better key. I'm known as a bit of a blabbermouth, it seems. That's not true, but I will take your secret to the grave if you so wish me to.
Oh, it's going to come out at some point, but
But that would be your choice to make, not mine.
I don't think it will.
Out of curiosity, Comstock, where are those shiny boots you found?
They're in my bag.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I want the twins to have a look at them.
Okay.
Boot ain't made for walking.
Interesting. Addy, this whole scene that you're seeing unfolding out in front of you seems very familiar. Like, it seems it seems very similar to what you've known of these individuals since you left Varos with them. If anything, it arguably seems a bit more relaxed than some of the journey that you've travelled here with the expedition. But what are you making of all this? What's on your mind?
I Actually, one thing I think Addy would have done, I'm sort of going to imagine that through the sort of course of this, I've sort of maybe even wandered up to Victor. And while Comstock and Milia are talking, I sort of give him a bit of a nudge and a raised eyebrows back towards those two. Having their little chat.
I've just been
You stuck
accused of kissing my commanding officer, and now there's accused of having an affair with like Comstock isn't slowly making his way around camp, okay?
Ah,
Victor will look at Daddy.
You know what? This group is very promiscuous. I can tell.
Amelia is very clearly limping and bleeding. Like,
It's good to be open about these things. You don't want it hidden behind. You wanted to talk? Is this an invitation?
No, not that kind of invitation.
Oh, sorry.
No.
My mistake.
No, Where did you come from? You seem to know your way around these parts quite well. Are you local?
Mostly around Varos for the last year or so.
Right. We didn't see you there.
I was
Were you
mostly
with
away.
Were you with another expedition party?
No, mostly on my own.
Oh,
I've been out and about the forest mostly. I'm not so much of a town person.
no.
And you?
No.
Where do you come from?
From a forest, a different forest, some way away from here, the Grove. I'll be honest, I'm not much of a town person either. Well, I wasn't until recently. I sort of left my tribe to, I guess, find a better life for myself, really. And I've sort of ended up with this lot, and I've become quite attached to them. But I don't know. I'm still getting used to people, I suppose. I'm not sure what to make of it, but I don't know. You seem to know your way around the wilds, and that's comforting to me.
Yes. I let the wild spirits guide me. You know, each thing has its balance, and I form part of that balance. I think you know what I mean.
Yeah, I guess.
You see-
guess I do. In theory.
You see,
I haven't. Have you seen a wild spirit? Have you come across one in your travels?
no, never seen. But I can feel them. Whenever it is night or the morning, I am at peace. I can feel them. I know they are there.
Huh. I can't. I never have. I'm starting to wonder whether anyone in my tribe or any of the keepers ever could after everything that's happened.
Is that
They
so?
seem to have left us behind.
That's a strange thing for a keeper to say. To be
Yeah.
disconnected.
Yeah. Disconnected is certainly a word for it.
But you know how to make connections. I can tell.
And he looks at the bear.
Well,
The bear is currently trying to lick a bit of good berry from between its front teeth.
So, in this, you are not alone.
no, I suppose not. I just not alone, but
That's what matters. Do
yeah,
not be alone.
I agree.
And Victor
I don't.
Victor walks off.
Addy,
He's an abrupt one.
as you watch Victor Batman away, Victor, you kind of run off ahead just because you see a bit of a raised area to get a bit of a clearer view of what's coming up. Yeah, you find that the trees themselves are starting to become more sparse. You're seemingly coming out of this kind of forest path of sorts, and you're fundamentally at the crest of a gently sloping hill that leads down into this kind of another winding valley ahead of you. And sure enough, kind of lazily traveling along between these rolling hills is a number of horse-drawn carts and caravans that you immediately recognize as the expedition.
Sweet.
Yeah, you've successfully managed to kind of intersect with them in the direction that they were traveling.
Find them!
So as you kind of shout that, and you all kind of gather, and you can all see the caravan off in the distance. Atrak and Carla kind of stop, and
I would assume that this is your expedition caravan.
That's right.
Marvelous. Well, it is good that we have found it safely. I suppose this is goodbye. I have enjoyed the time, while fleeting, that we have spent together.
You know, you could stay with us. I know you said that you prefer a quiet life, but the offer's still there. It seems almost like a shame to waste this fateful opportunity. You know, in some ways, this world has become so large and unknown, but also so small. You know, to think that Carla and Comstock have sort of reunited in an unlikely place, and the fact that you were there when we needed you most. You know, it seems a shame to waste that, to let you go.
I appreciate the offer, but I have some personal matters to attend to that unfortunately do not coincide with the locations of, presumably, the destinations of your caravan. But I appreciate the offer, Dryadia.
Call me Addy.
Thank you, Addy. Well,
he kind of looks to anyone else to see if they have any kind of parting words.
Trish, a moment of your time before you leave. The rest of you lot, if you wish to carry on down towards the caravan, I can catch up.
Oh, well.
Gonna try your luck with him as well, are you, Comstock? And Addy just sort of like skips away before Comstock can quite register what she said.
Much more pronounced when you skip on hooves as well.
Clop, clop, clop.
They're a nice crew, really, I swear.
As I go to head off,
If only they knew the truth.
I'll hold out a tiny hand and take Atrak's claw and just quite genuinely just say, stay in touch now. Us scholars should stick together. Share research.
He looks to you and
yes, we should stay in touch.
And he thinks for a moment and he studies you, and then like he moves and then stops as if he's like hesitating, as if he's thinking, and then he kind of like nods to himself almost, and then he reaches inside his like basically his sort of like robe's pocket, his coat pocket, and produces 2 crystals. that look like the mana crystals that you've seen so far, but these ones appear to have been shaped into flattened spheres, pebbles almost. And these they're like a deep yellow, slight orange hues that in the sunlight, and he holds one in each hand as he looks from one to the other, and they're relatively small in his hands, and then he offers one to you.
If you ever wish to stay in touch, simply speak my name in the presence of this stone.
Truly. Means a lot.
And he smiles.
Thank you,
and nods.
Atrak. Be safe.
You too, Miss Galena.
They literally shared phone numbers, just saying.
Literally every night is like Atrak. Hi, how you doing? I'm fine.
Wearing.
Yeah,
Job two.
yeah. I was doing this today. I just wanted to talk to you about.
Shut up!
So as Galena skitters off like a jubilant schoolgirl,
Yep.
Atrak like watches Galena like head off, and then he turns to you, Comstock.
Before
How can I help, good sir?
Oh yes,
yeah,
Melia.
before everyone like disappears off, I will again I'll hold out my own hand. Just go, if it wasn't for you and everyone, I would be dead, sir. So thank you.
He takes your you notice him put this orange stone back in his pocket. He takes your hand like in both of his kind of clawed hands, and he kind of gives you a good, friendly, kind of wholesome shake.
Guidance
And-
while we are.
Guidance
Yeah.
on him.
Yeah.
Okay. He feels a little perk up, and he
Be safe, Miss Sarah Last.
he
You and
says,
I are similar in a way. You stay safe as well, okay?
he nods. And as you turn to leave and walk away,
Oh! I've just noticed one of the bindings on your book is broken. You should get that repaired.
Huh?
and as you look down, one of the 3 belts has snapped.
Ooh, that face.
Ooh.
I will. Thank you.
He nods. And he looks at you, Comstock.
How can I help?
As Lady Marilyn will attest to, there was very little that could get past my sight. I was usually one of the best ones of picking up when people were being dishonest trying to get into the city or smuggle something in. And losing an eye didn't dull that. In fact, I think it's made us somewhat sharper, more focused, if you get my meaning. I'm sorry, I'm rambling. I should probably get to the point. When I mentioned Haladranus, there it is. The clenching of the jaw, the slight swish of the tail. Tell me true, friend. How much danger are we in?
Atrak, the expressions, like the warm gentleness on Atrak's face melts away. And you notice Carla stiffen and sort of roll her shoulders uncomfortably. And Atrak fixing you with this look, then gently, subtly turns to look over his shoulder to see where the others are. And noticing that Milia has now joined the rest of them, he returns his attention to you. He looks away as if thinking about his response, and then he takes a step forward and leans in.
Good sir, you are in significantly more danger than you expect you are.
That is what I thought. Anything you can tell me would be helpful, but I know our time is short.
He thinks for a moment.
She is a woman who will stop at nothing.
And you notice his lip quivering as he says it.
Nothing. To achieve what it is she wants to achieve. Nothing.
I see.
There's a flash of like his eyes give you a sense of anger, grief, pain, resentment, helplessness. And then he takes a breath, straightens up.
Do me a quick favor. Grab my hand and laugh as if I've just told you a funny joke.
Atrak looks at you confused and
He's got guidance.
he's got guidance. But actually, I forgot that it's a private role, but it's actually a 7. So he the grand total of 8. He looks at you and looks really confused and a bit awkward, and then he gingerly, like awkwardly, takes your hand and then just sort of like shuffles. So you're side on to the explorers, and he looks at them and then looks at you and
Comstock pats his shoulders like, okay, maybe a little, maybe like little less is fine, but I appreciate you telling me the truth.
he nods.
Tread lightly, Knight of the Hill.
Oh, just that moment. There's like just a slight bristle to his mustache, and maybe just a slight glistening on his eye there for a second, and it's like, Carla.
She looks to you, tilts her head.
Keep this one safe, will you? He's a good man, and you have one of the finest knights in all the land looking after you, sir.
That I do.
He says, and Carla just kind of gives you a nod. She appreciates the compliment. And then you see her kind of look back in the direction you came from, and we cannot stay here for much longer, Atrak. The forest is beginning to awaken. And Comstock, you peer over your shoulder, and sure enough, you notice that some of the trees are starting to move, and like some of them you feel like some of them are beginning to creep ever so slowly, like towards each other and towards you. And
Ah, yes. I've heard that some of these trees are carnivorous, if you'd believe it.
Thank you for the warning.
Atrak
Good day to you.
smiles and nods, and
You too.
As they leave, he sort of, as he puts his helmet on, he seems to walk back just a little taller than he was before.
Yeah.
so as Comstock, all the explorers, as Comstock rejoins you, you turn to see Atrak and Carla stood kind of in the forest clearway. And yeah, weirdly, it's almost like the path that you've been traveling along is now closed off. There's more trees in the middle. It's really odd. It's really peculiar. But the dragon scent and the knight, Carla, kind of give you a wave as you make your way and head down the hill. Who's got the highest perception among you? It is
Not me.
Victor, highest perception. You watch as Carla draws the greatsword off her back. She speaks to Atrak for a moment, and then she seemingly like lifts the sword up and just kind of pulls it down through the air. And as she does, you notice runes light up along the blade, and what appears to be like a line being cut through the air, which then opens up into a rift of some sort, and you watch as the two of them. Well, she steps through. Atrak goes to step through, stops, turns to regard you, gives you all a final wave, steps through the portal. And as the veil closes, and yeah, the trees are definitely moving very slowly towards you.
Okay, time to go.
So, yes, as you head down and rejoin the caravan, Milia, you hear, sort of as you're coming down the hill, you hear, "It's them! They've found us!" And you see Frinka like stood on one of the on top of one of the caravans, just sort of like with her fingers over her eyebrows, as she's almost doing like a binoculars thing to look in your direction. She sort of like gives you a big wave, and you can hear and see a lot of commotion among the caravan. And as you close in, you see this kind of dark-skinned Lorivar poke his head out and, we thought we'd lost you. I'm really happy that you're back. Mutters and stumbles, Javin. And yeah, as you're welcomed back into the caravan, we'll call it there.
Ooh. Oh, now.
Oh,
Very nice. All right, we didn't
You're
die.
still alive!
yeah.
You're still alive!
Hooray! And there's no problems. The book is
None
fine.
at all.
None at all.
No
Everything is
pacts made
as
with
it should
anything.
be.
It's all good.
All is well. Oh dear.
However,
Elsewhere.
Fuck
Oh
off.
no.
This is when the bad shit happens. Nothing good happens in Elsewhere. Elsewhere, a marriage.
A line of light appears in a darkened room, and it splits open to reveal a rift through which a forest path on the edge of a hillside materializes, and two figures carefully step through: an armored knight and a purple-scaled dragon scent. Carla turns to Atrak and says, "It's her, isn't it?" And Atrak says nothing as he walks past her with purpose. He walks into a large hall at the end of the corridor they have emerged in. And as he looks up at the large formation of crystal in the center of the room, he takes a breath and places his hand upon it, and it glows ever so slightly as he lowers his head. And Carla watches as the illumination of the crystal just about makes out the silhouette of someone inside.
Some freaky shit.
Congratulations, everyone,
Hey!
Huh?
on
Woo.
completing episode 5.
And for leveling up.
Woo!
Hey.
are we gonna start that game again? Are we, Anton? Okay.
Oh, gosh,
Let's do it every episode.
I played 2 games and I feel like we should level up.
So, yes, you have successfully made it back to the caravan, and none of you died. You
Yay.
little faith.
Hey.
Um,
We're all alive. There's
I mean-
triumphant music, and I have a sinking feeling of dread.
I mean, we may not have died physically, but we may have died a little inside.
Yeah.
in which case, I will alleviate your pains and say that at the end of session 5, you will gain the benefits of a long rest.
Hey! It's almost.
That's more
good.
relieving than the level up.
Yes.
Not bad.
I'll take it as a Ferric victory.
Just in case I forget for the start of episode 6. But yes, congratulations, and thank you all for playing. Thank you all for watching. I hope you really enjoyed that. If you
better
did, yeah, you better. We'll send Horse a Bear around. But yes, if you did like it, make sure to hit the like button. Leave a comment on your favourite bits. Leave a comment on how much of a surprise about Haladradis that may or may not have been
Oh,
for you.
Yeah,
Whoa.
we knew she was bad.
Yeah. But otherwise, if you like what you saw, we have loads of other stuff like this, and we're releasing videos basically every week. So make sure to tune in for those. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and the bell icon for notifications of when we upload stuff, which, as I just mentioned, happens quite often. So, with all that said, thank you everyone. As always, take care.
Bye.
See you next time.
Goodbye.
Keep
Yeah.
exploring.
And don't remember to play. Don't forget to place your bets on who Comstock's gonna fuck next.
Come on, guys.
See you later.
The answer may surprise you.
that's the thumbnail. Clickbait the shit out of this. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Having rendezvoused with the expedition caravan, the events of the previous night linger in our explorers' minds. How does Atrak know Haladradus? What potential is held within these crystals? What is the melody that entices Addy to action? Come back next time to find out. Thank you for watching to the end of the video, we really appreciate it. We're closing in on 250 subscribers, which is our next milestone, and I hope to reveal some teasers of how we're going to celebrate that soon. If you like the maps that we use in the video, check out Birdie Maps on Patreon for their incredible work. There's a link to their page in the description below. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button and comment down below with your theories on the relationship between the two wizards. Also, you can check out another one of our videos here, and help us get to our next subscriber milestone by clicking here. Remember to hit the bell icon too for notifications of our uploads. So, with all that said, thank you once again. Stay safe, and as always, keep exploring.